From Field Pass Hockey Southern Command, this is the Inside the SPHL podcast. Here is your host, James Hayes.
Welcome to this week's episode of Inside the SPHL. Hockey season has begun. We had an awesome week one of hockey games. Started on Thursday, and technically I'm recording this on Tuesday. I'm going to say it ended today, even though today's game counts towards the following week. But anyways, it was a great weekend, great games all the way across the board. We're definitely going to dig into that. But as you guys know, the only reason you ever listen to this show is because of the people I bring on, not because of me, because I'm a bumbling, rumbling fool. So without further ado, let me talk about the guest that I got coming on this week for you. So he's a New City, New York native. He played his college hockey in Ohio State before transferring to Oswego, where he was basically a point per game player. Every season he was there. He sat out the COVID season like a lot of hockey players did and just got ready for the next year. And then he went and played in France where, again, basically a point per game player. He put up 22 points in 23 games. He is now in his first professional North American season. He had a phenomenal opening weekend where he put up 6 points, 4 goals, and 2 assists. 3 of those goals came in the first period on Saturday night in Danville. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you the pride of the Birmingham Bulls, Mike Gillespie. Mike, welcome to the show, man. Thanks for coming on.
James, thanks for having me. It's my pleasure. Appreciate it.
I forgot to add in also this week's Warrior Hockey SPHL Player of the Week. You know, I got to throw that in there too. Everybody, co-player Bailey Birkin.
Co-player.
Yeah. Bailey Birkin had an awesome weekend, but we're not here to talk about him. I'll bring him on later on. And we'll talk hockey with him. But so, anyways, I mean, let's jump right into it, man. First weekend. Playing for the Bulls, and you scored the first goal of the season for the team, and you just really never looked back. I mean, it just described to me the experience out there on the ice for the first time playing professional hockey in North America for you.
Obviously it was a good weekend for the team. Always getting 2 wins is big to start the year off. But for me, it was just exciting to get back out there in a game. I was coming in from Toledo's training camp in the ECHL, and we had played an exhibition game, so I had gotten a little gist of a game in there, but I was still, chomping at the bit to really get after games, trained all summer since I got back from France. And, seeing the guys when I got back in Birmingham here, seeing the guys and stuff and everyone that was in here, it was an excitement around the locker room and on the ice. So going into Vermilion was just, we're there for a business trip and we got to take care of business. So the locker room was definitely a factor that we played off of to start the season, since it was a lot of new guys jumping right in, obviously. So I think overall it was just a great weekend for everyone. Obviously, I got us started. We didn't have the greatest start, but then after that, we had 3 lines pretty much going. Everyone bought in, and that's kind of what happens when everyone buys in. Everyone gets kind of rewarded the right way. Our line played really hard. Second line played really hard. Third line played hard from top to bottom. Goalies were good. So it was a good first weekend, definitely for everyone, and it was exciting, definitely, to be back in North America.
Yeah. I mean, it was great. I mean, and it just seemed like the chemistry, especially, on the line you're on, you have Carson Rose, who obviously everybody in Bulls country knows all about him last year. And I mean, it just seems like everything was clicking. And to me, how does that happen? You guys didn't practice. I mean, what'd you have, a week of practice together?
Yeah, about a week, but it's just having good hockey players surrounding you and guys who know the game and kind of have the same aspirations that maybe you have or the next guy. And, Rosie's a hell of a hockey player. Marty's a hell of a hockey player. I had the pleasure of, kind of meeting Marty in Toledo in training camp. And then we both came down here together and we played together in Toledo's training camp. So we kind of had a little flow together. So I think that was the thing that our coach was looking at to start the season, kind of keep that together since we've been together for a week already. And then it was easy to just slot a guy like Rosie in, who knows the game pretty well, has a knack for the net. And obviously he showed that and he's been showing that. So, really good guys too. That's the other thing. Good guys around the locker room, easy to talk to. And that's kind of how you got to get the chemistry going. You can't just go out there and expect it to happen. But
I hear you there. Yeah. I mean, that's, like I said, that was great. If I was better at my job, I would know how many points that line between you, Martin and Rose you put up over this weekend, but it was a ridiculous amount of goals. I mean, it was just, the point production was great. I mean, the whole team. I mean, Saturday night, it was insane. And then I don't know, did you guys just take a nap in the third period? No, you don't have to answer that.
I wouldn't say a nap, but sometimes that'll happen. You kind of get complacent at times and things start to creep back into the game you don't want, but those things get nipped in the bud pretty quick. And,
I mean,
the next day was a new day. So you take the points where you take them and you get out of there.
Right. Exactly. At the end of the day, nobody cares if you win 8-4, 8-1.
Yeah.
8 to
just
nothing.
take the points and get out of there. And maybe we don't have to talk about the game.
Right. Exactly. A 4-point weekend. That's what we're looking at. A 4-point weekend.
Exactly.
So that was like I said, that was good. So kind of moving back, kind of talking more back into your career now that there's not a whole lot to talk about this season, I don't think. It just got going.
Just a start.
So right. So let's get a little history on you in the game. Like I said, you're from New City, and I didn't say New York City, so I'm really proud of myself on that one. So a pat on my back. But so has hockey always been a part of your life? When you were real young, were you playing it?
Yeah, I would say it's been since I pretty much was born. My dad grew up playing hockey. He was playing junior hockey, knows a lot of guys that he's played with have gone to the NHL, played against guys in the NHL, Brian Mullen, Joey Mullen, these guys when he was growing up, juniors and stuff. Then he ended up becoming a FDNY fireman and joined the hockey team there and played on that team because, he had those aspirations were going that direction at the time. He definitely wanted to go play Division I, but just didn't have the money and stuff, so decided to go that direction. And I think was the best decision he's ever made. He's got great relationships from it and, brought me around those guys from a young age when he was playing on the team. And then once he retired from playing on the team, they hired him as a coach. So I was around as, the age of 2 pretty much until still now going to the games at UBS and Madison Square Garden because he's still on the bench. So I'd say, hockey's been my life. My dad's been my coach pretty much since I've been the age of 3 all the way until I left for juniors. And it was never favored, my kid's going to play just because I'm the coach. It was always, you better make sure you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do or else you're not going to play and there's going to be problems. So I think he was, he raised me the right way through that and kind of made me the person I am today. And hockey has been my life, and I've always been, grateful for him introducing it to me at a young age. And I still, going forward, whenever I am done, this will be my future too, hockey somewhere down the road, coaching or helping the kids out or this and that. But I would say, it's been my life definitely, and it's all because of him. But my other family members have had a huge factor in this too, being able to let me do what I want to do and sacrificing my mom, my sisters, whatnot, but they love it too. So they're along for the ride. So.
Nice. So how many brothers, sisters do you got? How
I have 2 sisters. I'm the middle child. So I got 2 sisters, mom and dad, and, and a dog.
Nice. Are they the sisters into sports at all? They play hockey, anything?
No hockey or anything. They played sports all through high school. My one sister played D2 soccer in college, and now they're just both working normal jobs, just making money in the real world.
Yeah. No more fantasy land, right?
No more, not living like me anymore.
That's right. But you got to live it up while you can. I mean, if every opportunity you get.
Exactly.
But so let's talk a little bit about your dad and FDNY hockey. I mean, there's the game between the PD. That's a huge game. You were there for those games?
Yeah, actually, this past year when I got home from France, I was able to go to the one that was in April. So that was nice to see. Most of the ones when I was younger, I was able to go to all of them. Yeah. I've missed a few down the road due to hockey and whatnot. But, man, those games are pretty – everyone always asks, like, oh, they can't be that great. Well, all those guys have played at a high level, either Division I, club or D3, some D1 if, they're lucky. A few D1 right now on the team, actually. Some have played pro. Like, they've all played at a high level and they love the game still, and they go out there and that's their big day. So it's very high competitive hockey game. It's fun to watch. Even when I go out there and practice with them, they're still, they're high level guys who practice. We even scrimmage them with some of my, friends that still play pro. We'll go against them because my dad's the coach and wants his guys to play some good guys, and they'll beat us sometimes. So
nice. So
the games are definitely exciting.
Tell me about the atmosphere. I mean, I know ESPN had one, and I heard Barstool is going to try to have this year's game. I mean, tell me about the atmosphere. At Madison Square Garden, you got the NYPD and the FDNY. I mean, that's got to be an amazing atmosphere, right?
Oh, it's pretty wild. Yeah, they go back and forth. You got half the side is FDNY fans, half the side is NYPD fans, and people are chanting back and forth at each other. It's the one day that everyone's not really liking each other in the city. But other than that, they work together, honestly.
Yeah.
After the game, they're hugging and, having drinks together or whatnot. But during the game, they could be best friends, and whatnot. They're going after each other.
That's great. The
atmosphere is gregreat, though.
That's a bucket list game for me. I got to go see one eventually.
I mean, it's sold out. It's like you can't really beat it, guy. It's a good hockey game. So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So let's talk a little bit. Moving on. So you played in the USHL with the Lincoln Stars, and that's. So kind of tell me how did that opportunity come about for you? I mean, I know I like to kind of understand, a lot when guys go and play juniors all over the place, like how they got to where they were, because the Lincoln Stars. Am I wrong? Is that not in Nebraska?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay.
It's actually wild. I was playing juniors back home for the New Jersey Rockets at the time, and my coach had said I was going to get drafted into the USHL possibly, but I should sign a tender in the NAL with the Austin Bruins. So I had done that beforehand, and I ended up getting drafted to Lincoln when I was supposed to maybe get drafted to Sioux Falls. I had no idea what was going on, so went out to Lincoln's camp. Wasn't supposed to make the team. Ended up, having a good showing. Made the team. Went to training camp, was not projected to be in the starting, 12 forwards, maybe scratched here and there. Ended up making the team through that. Played there for that 1 year, was committed to Niagara at the time, decommitted to Niagara, went to Ohio State, came back to Lincoln. And then the following year, for my age out year, was an assistant captain there. So ended up really, fitting in Lincoln and being comfortable, and the fans really liked me. The area was nice. My billet family was great, kind of like a second home. I still talk to a lot of them. So it's kind of like the perfect fit. And I kind of just made the best of the situation, kind of knowing I might not be on the team, but I can possibly make the team, and then just giving everything I had, and I did. And then, I ended up being more than just on the team. I was a big role on the team. So, I think that was, the next step in my hockey career there, where I can, I saw that I can play with these guys. And because I was all over just on the East Coast pretty much my whole life. I didn't even know pretty much there was a Midwest point of hockey.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But it was definitely a great place to be. And they treated you pretty well. That's for sure. So
what was it that made, why were they saying you shouldn't make the team? What was it? I mean, what was it that you had to prove to them? What element of your game would you say if you had to pick one?
I would say it was more of like, just they had their team kind of made already.
Oh, I got you.
Not anything that I was doing wrong. They had their team pretty much made, and it was going to be tough to kind of fit into the lineup they wanted. And, that's kind of how it played out, but I ended up fitting into the lineup. So
I gotcha.
I ran with it from there. And the group of guys there were great, and it wasn't more of the fact that I couldn't, play at that level. It was just they hadn't watched me play that much. So
right. You were the outsider coming in. I get it. That makes sense.
Exactly.
So moving on to college, and I feel like I'm pronouncing it wrong. Is it Oswego or Oswego or
SUNY Oswego? Yeah,
Oswego.
People say it pretty much that way or any other way.
Yeah.
But as long as you say it like that, it's fine.
I got you. So I mean, looking statistically, you had a really good career in college playing there. I mean, like I said, you were almost a point per game. I mean, 24 points, 26 points, 24, and you're always playing 25 or 26 games. I mean, did it seem like what you learned and the way you were able to develop your game in Lincoln, did that really help you make that jump into college, or was there something else that kind of just that helped you out when you got into that level?
I mean, I would say always from a young age playing, I always had good hockey sense. So I was pretty much able to play at, the highest of levels with the best players just because of my hockey sense. I might not have been the fastest guy or this and that, but I knew where to put the puck and make plays, and that would elevate my game that way. So going to even Ohio State as a young 19-year-old freshman, I understood, I might not be ready yet, but I can definitely play here with these guys, but I got to do the little things, and that helped me go back to Lincoln and, kind of establish a new role for myself and do the little things, 200-foot game. And then going into Oswego, I knew it was going to be the same kind of situation. It's not a Division I school, but it's a Division I style setup. And they take their hockey very serious there, and guys who come there want to win and move on. So I kind of said, I got to bring all those things that I was doing in the USHL over to here, because it's just going to be the same type of hockey pretty much.
I gotcha.
So that's kind of how it transferred over. I never really thought about, changing my games. It's just more of play the game you know how to play, and it'll all play itself out usually. So
yeah, I got you. So you after college, well, actually, what'd you study in school? I forgot. I love asking that question.
Man,
what'd you study?
Business administration. So just
Nice.
pretty much everything. So
Yeah,
you can go, you did finance, you did, business organization classes, you did marketing classes, you did, certain math classes and stuff. So you pretty much get the whole gist of everything. And I never really had any aspirations to be working a desk job anyway. So that wasn't part of my goal. It was part of my goal was to, get something where I can be involved with a hockey company or something down that line, which coaching and having a business administration degree definitely helps towards a lot of that. And I can get all that other stuff down the line. So I went for that, and it's worked. It's worked so far.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. I mean, that's a front office degree. You're going to have to be a general manager. You can't coach.
Yeah. I don't know if I can handle all that pressure.
Yeah. I don't.
Everyone barking at you.
I'm with you. And I mean, like, your job's always on the line, right?
Yeah. You got to bring in the right guys, the right people.
That's
Team
right.
better be good. Oh man.
Yeah. So kind of jumping back to growing up in hockey, Rangers fan?
Yeah, Rangers fan.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. Yeah.
Yep.
So I got a little piece of my heart that belongs to the Rangers because Chris Drury's the GM there. That's what made me think of it. And Chris Drury is my all-time favorite Avalanche player. People think I'm stupid for that because he was only there for a few years, but I loved
great
watching
hockey
him
player
play.
though. Yeah, great hockey player.
Clutch guy whenever he was in Colorado.
Absolutely.
And then, I mean, everywhere else he played, he was great. So yeah. They had I thought last year maybe it was going to be a Colorado Rangers final, and I was a little disappointed in the boys.
Yeah, they didn't have enough, but I mean the NHL is so good nowadays, so you never honestly know who's going to win, and
yeah,
all these guys are good, man. So it's crazy.
It's insane.
It's crazy.
So
yeah.
But kind of staying on that same topic for a minute. Who's a player that you kind of tried to model yourself around, like in your mind? When I was a kid growing up, and I was never worth a crap at playing hockey, but I always thought, I was Chris Drury, or when I was younger, before the Avalanche came to town, I was Wayne Gretzky and whatnot. But I knew I was, but a lot of guys, that you kind of, as you learn the game, I guess, whenever you become in a position like yourself, you can start seeing what guys do, where those are things I never realized then. Was there a player like that for you?
Growing up, I liked to watch, Patrice Bergeron a lot. He was a center iceman. I used to play center ice a lot. I thought he did all the little things right, found the nice soft spots, and, was good with the puck, always had good hockey sense out there, where the puck should move first. I'd say Claude Giroux, still watching him. He's just a fantastic player, righty, plays center ice. But, I'd say pretty much those guys. and then anyone who plays type of game like that, I watch a lot of NHL games, so I don't really try to, maybe like an Alex DeBrincat, smaller forward, has a knack for the net, but also loves to move the puck and get up the ice, but can play physical too and play 200 feet. Definitely not as skilled as any of those guys, as you can see, but
I don't know. I mean, your numbers last weekend say that you're pretty good.
No, yeah, those guys it would have been way different if those guys were playing. Oh my god,
yeah.
But that's the type of guys I would look after. Definitely like a guy like Patrice Bergeron is fun to watch. Like,
yeah,
even at his age now, he is still fun to watch, and that's because he knows the game so well and just he's just a step ahead of everyone before he even gets the puck. So those are kind of guys I like to look after and just see what they do and what they have done and what works for them and even what doesn't work for them and what they try to fix. So I'd say, those guys pretty much.
I hear you. All right. So let's talk about France, man. How did you end up? Well, you sat out the COVID year like a lot of guys did because it was just a crappy year for hockey, really, to be honest with you.
Right. But, it was terrible.
So you sat out that year. Was that a tough decision? Was that a forced decision? Was that, I'm going to better my game? What was that?
I mean, it definitely wasn't forced. It was more of trying to figure out what was going to be the best option for me. I was trying to look into playing in the coast. A lot of guys were, being sent down. Not a lot of teams were playing. So it was kind of, rosters were small. Had the chance to maybe play in the SP, but kind of just didn't pull the trigger enough or quick enough maybe. And then ended up just realizing maybe I'll just, train and work out and go from there. And ended up training pretty much the whole year, halfway through the year when everything started. Skating a ton and talked to my college coaches in Oswego to see if they had any ideas what I should do. They had reached out to some guys saying that there's some spots open in France and that our coach had played in France and he loved the league and thought it'd be a good fit for me to start my first year of pro just to get my feet wet and then I can come back and figure it out. So I said, all right, if someone has something, I'll go. And I ended up getting a call right away and they offered me, a spot and I looked into it. A week later, I was, pretty much, I'll go. I just want to play hockey. I want to get games in. They said all that, and I just wanted to play hockey again. So, looked into that pretty much, went with that, and enjoyed it. Lived 25 minutes outside of Paris. Played some decent teams, decent hockey. Seen some cool places. It was definitely good for the experience, I would say. I would say, the hockey can definitely be a little bit better over there. Wasn't in one of the top division. It was in the second division. But we played a few of the top teams, and that was a good experience for a lot of our guys and the guys we had on our team. But we had a decent amount of imports, so we had a good team. So we finished, third in the league. And the top 5 teams in the league were pretty solid players, and a lot of them are over here now playing either in the SP or the coast and whatnot.
Nice.
So,
nice. So you're going to see some familiar faces whenever.
So definitely some familiar faces. Yeah, I've already saw one this past weekend with O'Shaughnessy. So I played against him in.
Okay.
He was in Nantes last year in France, and actually he's a Long Island guy, so he knows a couple guys I know. So yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. So the hockey world's a big world, but it's a small world.
But it's really small. It's scary. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, so France. I mean, did you learn a little bit of French while you were over there? I mean, no.
Nope.
Not a bit.
Nope.
Did you even want to?
Nope.
I'm the same way. I'm not a fan of learning other languages, and I know it's snobby. It's snobby.
I couldn't
American.
even get through the language classes I was supposed to take for school, so I'm not even trying to practice a language that I don't even want to learn.
That's awesome. You got any good Paris stories or any France stories? I mean, going out with the boys, having a good time out there. You got anything?
It was definitely France was an experience. Like Paris and some of the clubs down there were quite, extravagant. I would say things I've never seen before, just because of how Paris is and. They're the big party city and
yeah.
But I mean, the guys were good. we had a couple issues with the bus breaking down and being like an hour and a half away from where we're supposed to go on a 12-hour bus ride.
Oh,
And we're just slept all night on the bus and stuff, and the bus breaks down. But other than that, it wasn't too bad. Definitely some interesting rinks to play in at times.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But it makes you stronger, I guess, for coming over here then.
That's all right. It makes you appreciate what you got going on here more
boy.
so, right?
Oh boy, yeah.
I know
boy.
a lot of people like to shit on Danville's arena and like just the size of it and kind of the age of it.
I didn't mind it at all.
That's the way I feel too. I mean, it doesn't seem that bad.
Honestly, I thought whatever, it's got 2,000, maybe it could fit, whatever, but not a bad rink at all. Yeah, the neutral zone maybe okay, a little small, but the zones are big, and the offensive defensive zone big enough, normal rink. So I was fine with that rink. So.
Yeah, I know you were. That's probably your favorite place to play now.
I guess, yeah.
You don't even want to play in Pelham.
Definitely was a little hot, but
was it?
Yeah. But...
I've heard stories about Pensacola getting that way sometimes, and when we're heading into spring hockey towards the playoffs.
Oh, it's Florida. It's Florida, so we can expect.
Yeah, I've heard it gets a little foggy in that place at times, but
I can imagine.
but man, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I don't think I got any more questions. Well, hell yeah, I got one last question. So what do you do outside of the game, man? That's a question everybody always wants me to ask. What do you do when it's not hockey?
I do a lot. I mean, I am involved with the hockey company. The hat I'm wearing here is a hockey company that I work for called Top Line Hockey.
Okay.
So it's up in Newburgh, New York. We have a really good following, good group of guys that work for the company, 2 good owners that have opened it up, played at Maine, played at Michigan, played pro hockey, playing at a high level.
What's the company do? You said Top Line Hockey?
It's called Top Line Hockey. Yeah. We're a skills hockey company and training facility. So we have a gym.
Nice.
And we have, a rink where we have access to the ice and whatnot. So we have skill skates all the time, and we give lessons and, do hockey IQ camps. We do camps during the summertime. We do summer training programs in the summertime. And I participate, obviously, because I'm still playing. So I'll have my own summer training program, and I'll have a group of guys that are up there and whatnot. So in my off time from hockey, I do that pretty much.
Yeah. So hockey and hockey. That's what you
Other than that, I like to golf a lot. I like to fish. Spend as much time with my family and friends, when I am home. And pretty much, that's pretty much all. That's pretty much all I do. Just try to enjoy my summer times when I'm not, playing right now. Throughout the year I play, obviously. So when I'm home, I try to, like I said, enjoy as much as I can at home with my friends, family, fishing, golf, whatever vacations I like to go on, and working for this hockey company and getting my training in too. So kind of
busy,
balancing out the whole life process, but it's been pretty fun, and I can't complain. So
yeah, staying busy is always a good idea. That was my problem in my younger days. I didn't stay busy enough, so I just got in a bunch of trouble all the time. So yeah.
I mean, I would say, I'm not going to say when I was younger I wasn't a little troublemaker, but that definitely I've escaped all those things.
Yeah,
maybe if you ask my 5th grade teachers, maybe I haven't, but
we'll save that story for another time. But cool, man. Like I said, that's great, man. I really appreciate you coming on. I'm not going to steal any more of your time. I know it's go time and in the season, so it was great. Congratulations on a great weekend to you and the team. And congratulations on the Player of the Week honors. And I wish you the best of the luck throughout the rest of the season, and maybe somewhere down the road we can do this again.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you having me on, and hopefully the boys can keep at it here this weekend. But we know it's a long season, so. Yeah, but I appreciate you having me, and it was a pleasure. It was fun.
Absolutely, man. Have a good one.
All right, thanks, Jay.
All right, there you have it. Mike Gillespie of the Birmingham Bulls. He was, as I said earlier, he was the co-player of the week with Quad City's goaltender Bailey Birkin. And they both had really good weekends. Let me pull up my stats. I'm all jacked up here now. Dang it. Oh man, I'm messed up. Anyways, while I try to do this, I'm going to try and talk through it. So you guys all are just hearing words and words and words and stuff, but no, but it was a great weekend. I mean, there was a lot of things going on this weekend that with teams. I mean, we've seen a lot of splits over the weekend. There was a couple of sweeps, and we'll jump into all that. But overall, I don't know if you could ask for a better opening weekend. I know it was tough for a couple of fan bases, but you got to remember you've been waiting for this. You've been waiting for this weekend since it ended last season. So hey, you're going to have ups and downs throughout the year. Nobody goes undefeated, and so far nobody's lost every single game. And I just don't see that happening. Professional hockey is just the players are too good. I don't care what team you're on. Nobody's going to lose every single game this year. So keep your heads up if you were one of those teams that went 0-2. And like I said, we'll jump into that a little later. But yeah, so we're going to talk about Bailey Birkin now. I already, touched on what Gillespie did to get his Player of the Week honors. But Birkin, he went 29 for 31 on Friday night whenever they took down the Rivermen. And then he held the Rivermen almost scoreless in the second game. And then he led a late power play goal in, and he was just great. I mean, he was great. 43 of 44 in that game, and it was a great performance. I did my best to watch every single game while they were happening, and it's impossible. Let me tell you that. You're going to miss things when you're trying to do it like that. But I tried. I flipped back and forth because, as you guys know, I say it all the time, but I feel like I need to say it again. I cover the Bulls, so usually I'm at Bulls games, but I don't travel to away games because I need these guys to pay me a lot of money, ESPN money. That's what I need. And then I could start traveling. I could be set up there and what? No, that's not going to happen. That's not what happens in this level of hockey. But anyways, one can dream, right? But so yeah, by doing that, I was sitting on my couch and I was flipping between games. And well, you guys were at the games. I was trying to watch them all. I tried to get a piece of every single game in because I was trying to just hold it all in and bring it all in and really enjoy the moment. A lot of us don't realize that, or we don't ever enjoy the moment, right? We're always like, hurry up. This needs to get here. This needs to get here. And then when it gets here, it just, boom, it's gone. And we didn't really sit back and just be like, yeah, this is great. And that was what I was trying to do. That's my new outlook on this season. I've been so ready for hockey to start again that now every time there's a hockey game that I'm watching, I'm going to sit there and I'm just going to try to enjoy that experience, whether I'm watching it on TV, whether I'm watching it at the game. And I'm not going to rush it because before you know it, it's going to be April. It's going to be playoff hockey time and the season's going to almost be over. So yeah, I don't know. That's enough about me though. We're done talking about me. Let's jump into kind of recapping this week. So the season got started last Thursday and it happened. It was Huntsville versus Pensacola. Huntsville ended up doing a very good job of handling that game, and I need to bring my notes up. I am really messed up. This is the first week in review one I've done all season, and I'm rusty. That's going to be my excuse, but it's a crappy one. But anyways, so Huntsville went down to Pensacola, season opener for the SPHL, and the game started out really good. It was 1-1. Huntsville ended up grabbing the lead. They scored 3 goals. They were up 3-1. Pensacola tried to make a comeback, and ultimately it just came short. And the Havoc won 6-4. The Havoc looked just like the Havoc looked to start off last year. Nukovic scored twice, three goals. Sorry, 3 goals. Nukovic got. Piacentini. I mean, these guys that are Rob Dare, these guys that have been there forever, they are still producing, and they were just, I don't know. It was tough. They were a tough team to beat. Huntsville looks good early on, and that was how Thursday went, the opener, and it was a great game. I hope a lot of you guys watched it. I hope you guys caught it. You got to try to support all these games when you're watching it. It's kind of like the NHL. That's the way I look at it. But I understand if there was your team in the NHL was playing Thursday night, you're probably going to watch them over the Havoc in Pensacola. But I'm all about supporting this league. I try to watch as much of it as I can, and I keep saying that, and I need to just shut up. So anyways, we're going to move on. Huntsville went on the next night and still didn't get to go home. I don't know what it was with the league. They didn't want the Alabama teams at home in the first weekend because Huntsville did not play a single home game, neither did Birmingham. But Huntsville stayed closer to home, I would say, than Birmingham. They were down the road in Pensacola, then they went to Macon, and they just kind of laid waste to the Mayhem. They beat them 4-0. It was a tough one for Macon. Tough start of the season, getting shut out like that. But again, Huntsville looked really good, really, really good. And I don't know. Piacentini got another goal. Carter Rue got a goal. Martinson, Clark. It was great. And I was wondering, one of the things I was thinking about coming into this was the goaltending for Huntsville, because Vorva is not back. Zane Steves is in Evansville now. So their goaltending's different this year. And the goaltending didn't seem to care. They didn't mind that much, and that also comes into play when you're looking at a good team. When you're a good team, your goaltending can they can loosen up a bit, and it helps them kind of play a little bit better. That's what I like to say. I don't like to take that approach like there was I don't remember who said it, but somebody said last year anybody could play goal for the Colorado Avalanche because they were that good of a team. I don't feel like I could have played goal for the Colorado Avalanche. They were a good team, but a beach ball would have gotten through me. So I disagree with that statement. I do think that a goaltender doesn't have to be elite, but sometimes they do. And last year, like I said, Vorva was an elite goaltender on a really good Huntsville team. And so Huntsville's really good about finding that talent, I should say. Next up, let's talk about Macon. Macon played Pensacola, so their two games were against the teams that opened the season. And that was a Saturday night game, and I am stumbling around again because I have not perfected the art of this. But I know Pensacola won the game, but Pensacola ended up 5-3. They started it off. They scored the opening goal, and this was in Pensacola again. Pensacola didn't have to play away from home opening weekend. So, I don't know, Pensacola, lucky fans, you get to see it all on the opening weekend. But no, anyways, that's great. But they ended up winning 5-3. Macon did end up scoring some goals, though, and that was good. After getting shut out the first night, it's good to bounce back the next night. Caleb Cameron got the scoring going for him. But overall, it was just it was all Pensacola. They were – let me bring up the game notes before I sound like a bumbling fool. But yeah. It was all Pensacola. Yeah. They were never in doubt. Garrett Milan, Brandon, we're going to call him Brandon Makara. I don't know. I'm going to get smacked around for that. Help me out in the comments if you're watching on YouTube, or yell at me on social media and tell me that I need to say that name right, because I am that guy also that talks trash whenever names are pronounced incorrectly. So I deserve it. But anyway, Seth Enzer got a goal. It was just I don't know. It was just a good night. It was a good night, and it was a hard fought game. A lot of roughing calls, a lot of physicality in that game. But Nick Niedert's opening weekend for the Macon Mayhem did not go to plan, and they fell 0-2, or they fell to 0-2 on the season right off the bat. But don't doubt that squad. Don't doubt that team. They are not the same team from last year. They can bounce back. I have confidence in it. So after that, we're going to get into the rest of our teams that played series against each other. And we're going to start off with our favorite series here at Inside the SPHL, the series between Fayetteville and Roanoke, because it is the never-ending series. They played 400 million times last year. I don't even think they played anybody else until the playoffs. I think that's all they ever played was each other. Only fitting they start this season playing each other. But the thing about it is, when you play a team that much and both teams kept a lot of their core together, they still hate each other. And so it's going to make for good hockey. And those were some good games. They split the weekend. Dang it, my screen. There we go. So the home team won both times. Roanoke won Friday night 4-2 in Roanoke, and then Fayetteville won 5-1 Saturday night in Fayetteville. And that was it was a really good series. It was a hard fought series. You could feel the love in the air, I guess. It was great. And then Brian Moore came back on the Saturday night game for Fayetteville, and just instantly, right off the bat, 27 seconds in, he and Sean Leonard, a little unfinished business, dropped the gloves. They both got 10-minute misconducts. They got a lot. They got continuing altercations. They got all kinds of stuff. But hey, that's what you expect from these two teams, I think. I mean, they hate each other. I'd like to put it that way. So it was great, though. I mean, both nights it was a different game both nights, in my opinion, and and I guess that's kind of why different teams won each night, right? But let me pull up one night. Let's go Friday night because I'm really bad. I'm still telling you, I'm screwing this up. You guys need to fire me. Demand a new host for this show because I'm screwing up this first show. That's why I always bring somebody else on to talk about this stuff with me. I should have this week. What was I thinking? Anyways, Fayetteville got scoring started in the first game with Andrew Lane, and then it was the Roanoke show in the second period. They scored 3 straight goals. McCloy scored for Fayetteville, trying to bring him back, but it just wasn't enough. Brahman added another one, and there you have it. And there wasn't a lot of penalties. I say these teams hate each other, but there was not a lot of penalties. Both teams only got 3 power plays a piece, and you feel like that should have been a higher number, right? Because just these teams play each other all the time. But few new faces across the board. But the next night, it was a whole different game, a whole different Fayetteville team, maybe. I don't know. They scored 3 straight to get the things going. Roanoke wasn't even on the board until they were down 3-0. Midway through the second period was when Roanoke finally got one. Third period came. Brian Moore scores a goal. Drake Glover scores a goal. And it was just all Fayetteville all night long there. But it was still a good game. It was a good game. And there was a lot of hatred, like I said. But Fayetteville, their power play also, I need to mention, their power play was excellent. Went 2 for 3 on Saturday night, which is a huge factor. When you're going to be given those opportunities, you want to take advantage of the opportunities, right? And they did just that. It was a good weekend it was a good game if you are a Fayetteville fan. It was a good weekend if you're a hockey fan. They split the weekend. So obviously both teams starting the season out 1-1 right there. So that's enough about that one. Let's move on. Knoxville and Evansville, another good series, another really good series. I really thought on Friday night when Knoxville was playing their home opener, I had to think, got to get it right. But so Knoxville's home opener, where they raised the William B. Coffey banner to the ceiling for being the regular season champs. They went down. They went down early in that game, and they just didn't look good. The Knoxville Ice Bears just looked not good. Not good. That's the best way to put that. When that game started, the only person I feel that looked really good on the ice to start that game was Christian Stead. He was playing lights out in goal. Very, very good. And he kept them in that game. And he should probably be given some kind of award at the end of the night because Knoxville ultimately won that game 4-2 after going down 2-0. So we are halfway through the whole game and they are down 2-0 after Frederick Wink and Aaron Huffnagel scored for Evansville. We're thinking, oh no, this isn't going to work. But then the captain, the guy that a lot of people, I heard you guys whispering in the background, Justin McDonald. He's an old guy. He's been playing in the Fed, blah, blah, blah. He has no business being in the SPHL. Well, he's been in the SPHL. He's won an SPHL championship with Pensacola. So there's that. And then also, he's still a really good hockey player. I mean, I think I threw up some numbers at one point of how many points he put up in the Fed last year. They were stupid, crazy numbers. I mean, 100+ points something. So, yeah, they probably made the right choice by bringing him in, and his veteran leadership is probably a good idea to be a captain. Rant over. Anyways, he got the scoring started for the Ice Bears on the power play, and that's where things got going. Coleman Keckney ended up getting one in, tied the game up in the third period. And all of a sudden, this Knoxville team was looking like the Knoxville team that we all expect them to look like. Not taking anything away from Evansville, though. Evansville fought hard in that game. I mean, they were fighting hard. I think they were up 10 shots or 8 shots in that first period before Knoxville even got one off. So Evansville's playing great. But anyways, after McKechnie got his goal, Brady Florent got a couple of goals, and it was just kind of all downhill from there for him. But it was a game full of everything. There was some fights. Kyler Matthews got into it with Hayden Holton. There was a little bit of it all, And it was just a hard fought battle for both teams. And unfortunately, fortunately, because it's sports, there's a winner. There's no ties in hockey. Thank God. I hate that about the NFL. That's a different podcast, though. We'll have to do an NFL podcast to hear those rants. But anyways, very hard fought battle between the two teams. Knoxville came out on top on night one. And really, Christian Stead's the one that deserved that win. Granted, the rest of the team rallied. They came back and they made it. But Christian Stead really deserved that win for the Ice Bears because, like I said, he stood on his head to get that game going. He was the reason that game was not 5-0 at the end of the first period. So sorry about that. I hit mute though before I sneezed, but we're in. Not editing that out either. That is staying in the podcast. So you're welcome, everybody. Night 2, heading to Evansville, home opener for the Thunderbolts with their new jerseys, their new design, new everything. And new players, no Austin Plevy. That's one I remember when I had Brad Harrison on last week, that if Plevy wasn't around, it was going to be something that we were going to question. That's tough. You're losing a key piece, but Evansville didn't seem, I mean, they miss him. Granted, they miss him. He was a great player. I don't know where he's at. I haven't heard any formal retirements, by the way, but I just know he's not playing hockey this year. I can't find him anywhere. I've looked. I've called all 3 people that I know in hockey, and all 3 of them said they don't know where he is. So I'm assuming that he is not playing hockey. But anyways, enough of that. So this night, kind of take a little reverse turn here. So the Ice Bears scored first, late in the first period. These two teams, they remembered each other from the night before. It was late in the first period, and Oderkirk, maybe. I'm going to have to ask Joel Silverberg if that's how you say it. Anyways, he got that first goal. It was a power play goal whenever Tanner Butler was put in the box for interference. And then late in the period, late. I mean, like just over 30 seconds left to go in that period. Frederick Wink, who also scored the night before, if you remember from a couple seconds ago, before I went on one of my mini rants, he scored again, his second of the year. And all of a sudden the game's tied. And you were kind of feeling this game, it wasn't quite a blowout like the way it was going. But Evansville was playing insane out of their minds again in the first period. They outshot them 18-4. But you had a different feel about this game. But again, Knoxville had hats off to your goaltending. Hats off. That was great. But it just didn't work there late in the game, late in the first period. Evansville comes out and scores a quick goal to start the second period, and they get the lead. First time they've been leading since early in the second period the night before. Wasn't that long ago. But I liked it. When you're doing this, you got to try to make things all extravagant. And I hope you didn't hear that. I just hit my microphone, and that probably hurt your ears if you did. But anyways, Knoxville did not go away. They scored again. 6 minutes later, Brady Flint, again, third goal of the season. There's a lot of guys scoring a lot of goals this to start this weekend off, 3-4 goal guys. But Evansville wasn't going to go away. Knoxville played a lot better in that second period, but Evansville played a little bit better, and Mike Ferraro got another power play goal. Or a power play goal, forgive me. And from there was no turning back. Third period, Evansville adds another one. Knoxville comes close. They add another goal, but they just weren't having it in Evansville, and Evansville ends up winning that one 4-3. So another series split. Home team wins on both, just like the Fayetteville and Roanoke series. Very hard fought weekend. That was one of my favorite series of the weekend, to be honest with you. It was just really good. Really, really good. So next up, Birmingham and Vermilion County. I was going to say Vermilion. No. See, Rusty, not doing a very good job. Way to go, James. Anyways, Birmingham headed up to Vermilion County. Remember I said Alabama teams, they didn't get to play at home on opening weekend. But Birmingham went up to Vermilion County, went to Danville. I know we've all heard a little bit about the arena stuff going on there. We're not going to get too deep into that, but there was a lot of question. I remember going around, and there's this new page out there on covering minor league hockey that loves to throw the rumors around, saying that the team's going to disband or something, and that's what their sources say. And No. They're still here. They played opening weekend. And as a matter of fact, you're going to be listening to this on Wednesday, but I recorded this on Tuesday. And guess what? Vermilion County played 3 games this year. So they're still here. No more rumors. Anyways, let's get into the game. So no hockey TV feed. If you're a Birmingham fan, you know that. But there was some technical difficulties within the arena. So Birmingham had to go Facebook Live, which made it really hard for me to watch because I miss having announcers and whatnot. But anyways, I did my best to watch it on Facebook Live. I had that on my phone while I was flipping on hockey TV on the big screen. Do people still call them big screens? I don't know. I think they just call them TVs now because they're all big. But anyways, Birmingham came out 4-1. They didn't start that game off good. They went down 1-0. 1-0. Not a good way to start off. But Vermilion County, very good way to start off. They were feeling it right there. So, hang on. Technical difficulties on my end. So I feel your pain, Vermilion County. Give me just a second, folks. All right, I got it now. All right, so anyways, Vermilion County, I was saying, they started up the scoring and got it going, and it was by TJ Delaney. He got that thing going real quick, too. It was only about 3-4 minutes. 3 minutes, 34 seconds in. A few minutes later, though, the guest of this show, Mike Gillespie, decided to answer back, and there was no looking back from Birmingham at that point forward. Jordan Martin got a goal. He's another guy who played to the end of last year with them. Carson Rose got a goal, and Dylan Johnson got a goal. It was just a great night. Gillespie ended the night with 3 points. He had 2 assists and a goal. Carson Rose had a great night, 2 assists and a goal. So let's talk about that. We already did, but that's a great line. That line putting up a lot of points. And don't tell me, oh, it's just Vermilion County, because we'll get into a little bit later about Vermilion County and how this is not the same team that we've seen last year. They are an improved team. But that's how that night went. Hayden Stewart got the win in net, stopping 20 shots. Vermilion County really struggled in the second and third period to get some shots off. Birmingham really took control of that game, and they took control of the puck. They had 3 shots in the second period, 6 in the third period. I mean, I'm not all about taking 50 shots. I'm all about taking the quality shots. But I don't know. Those 3 shots, they all better be quality if you're going to win a game. And a penalty kill for Vermilion County was not there either. They let in 2 power play goals. The Bulls had a great one, and the power play for Vermilion County wasn't there. They went 0 for 4 on the night. Kind of a rough go for the Bobcats on opening night. But hey, they had an opening night. They didn't last year. Remember, it got postponed. And remember all the rumors going around that they weren't going to have one this year. I know some of it wasn't rumors. It was produced by a newspaper. But at the same time, there was a lot of rumors going around. And I just want that to be out there that, yeah, they played it. So anyways, let's move on to Saturday night. Saturday night was all Birmingham until the third period. But goodness, Birmingham was a wagon to start that out. First off, they outshot Vermilion County in the first period 26-9. They scored 5 goals in the first period. Gillespie got 3 of those. Mike Davis got the other 2. And once again, Jordan Martin and Carson Rose, you see their name in the assists. That line just clicking on that first weekend. Really good. And that's why I was asking about that chemistry, because it shocked me how well that opening night, these guys have never all 3 played together on a line before. But anyways, moving on. Second period, Stefan Timofeyev and Stefan Brucato. Yes, I'm talking about the Bulls, not the Ice Bears. Those guys are Bulls this year, remember? They added a couple of goals, and now it's 7-2. That's rough. Vermilion County, you just pack it up, throw the white flag in, go home. You're done at this point. You're just done. Give up. No, that's not what they did. Matt O'Shaughnessy decided to score a goal late in that second period, sparked some life back into that Bobcat team. And then coming into the third period, Carson Rose decided he was going to try to take that spark away, and he scored a goal. So now it's 8-1. 8 freaking goals in a hockey game is insane. But the next 3 goals were all by the Bobcats. Aaron Ryback, Sullivan Shortreed, and Aaron Ryback again. So the Bobcats ended up getting 4 goals. Numbers for Lotz didn't look as good as they did for Stewart the night before. But hey, It's all right. Sean Kuhn, though, came in for relief of Chris O'Shaughnessy, who started that night in net, and he did a very good job at being a goaltender. It's stopping pucks. That's what I'm looking for. Why are words not working right now? I'm telling you guys, demand that they find somebody new to do this show because I am not suited for it. I'm horrible at it. But moving along, that's how that night went. Vermilion County ends up going down 0-2 to start the season. The Bulls go up 2-0 to start the season. This is two teams that missed the playoffs completely last year. It is the 9th and the 11th place team in the league. Neither team started the season off very good last year. One of these teams was going to start it off good, I imagine, or I guess they could have split like a lot of other ones, but I don't know. Birmingham's looking good early. I'm not going to jump on this wagon and say they are going to be the champs after just seeing them play one weekend, but I can tell you guys that this team looks different, just like I can tell you the Bobcat team looks different, because I feel like last year's Bobcat team would have went down 7-0 and they would have kind of not scored 4 goals afterwards. But this team kept on going. They never quit. They played the full 3 periods. They put effort in, and they ended up doing all right. I mean, whenever you got 50 shots against you, it's always rough. It's always rough. You're probably going to be on the losing side. Sometimes you're not. But that's how that one went. And that's that for that one. The next one, the defending champs and the Quad City Storm. It's a huge rivalry. I love that they started this weekend with 2 of the bigger rivalries, because Fayetteville and Roanoke's a rivalry. I don't care if you think it is or isn't. And then Peoria and Quad City obviously is. They have a trophy for it. But that one started out, that weekend went exactly how Quad City fans expected it to, right? So Quad City ended up sweeping the Rivermen, which I don't know that a lot of people thought that was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen. I know Quad City's a good team. I knew they would probably win one, but I really thought Saturday night, the banner raising ceremony and all this, and plus I want to go out there and say this, and I mean no disrespect, but those championship jerseys that the Rivermen were wearing on Saturday night, they were just kind of weird. You have that player photo on there, and I mean, so it's weird for a couple of reasons. You got a few guys skating around with their faces on their jersey, and then you got a couple guys that weren't on the team skating around with a bunch of other people from last year that they didn't even play with on a team they didn't play with. It's a weird jersey. Cool jersey to buy. I don't know if it was so cool to wear in a game, but hey, I don't get paid to make those decisions, and I know Peoria fans love the crap out of them, and that's all that really matters, right? That's why they make these jerseys, because they want to sell them to the fans. People like me buy all kinds of stuff. I would buy one of those jerseys. I just don't know that I would want to wear one in a game. But then again, as you guys all know, I don't play hockey. I just talk about it and act like I know everything. But moving along, let's talk about night 1 in that game series. And so, as I said, Quad City, they did a good job. They won that one 6-2, and it was, I guess it was close, but it wasn't. I mean, Quad City was up 3-1 at one point, and then Piotrowski scored a goal for the Rivermen. But it's just Quad City they were ready. That was their home opener, their home crowd. What was the number of that crowd? Where do I find that at? I'm going to screw this all up. They had 3,676 fans in attendance at it's not the Tax Slayer Center anymore. Bad SPHL page. But anyways, I forgot what it was called. But yeah, it was good. Levine got pulled. You know, the guy I was talking about who was like a staple of the regular season last year for Peoria, he got pulled for Ben Churchfield. Churchfield came in relief, did a good job. He stopped 11 of 12 shots for him, but Bailey Birkin wasn't having it. 29 of 31, just good hockey. He had a slip up in the second period. One of them was a power play goal. And the other one, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, because I don't have my clip of it, because that's what I was looking for a few minutes ago and it's gone. But anyways, it was just a great night for Quad City. A much better night for Quad City than it is a day for me podcasting. But let's jump into Saturday's game where I referenced Peoria's jersey and their championship banner raising ceremony, which was awesome. That's always awesome to see. I mean, that moment, and whenever a lot of the guys are on the team still, which and at this level of hockey, it's tough to keep all those guys in the same place, but it was cool. It's always cool to see a banner go to the rafters for anybody, unless I guess you're Quad City and you hate Peoria. But me, as a neutral fan of all the teams, I enjoy seeing it. But yeah, Quad City, let's get into the game now, right? That's what you're saying? Yeah. Okay, so Quad City scored early to get this one going, and then the scoring just kind of halted. And then they scored really early in the second period, and then the scoring halted. And then late, very, very late in the third period, on the power play with the extra attacker, Tyler Barrow brings them within one, but there was 19 seconds left at that point, and they went into the opening face-off, or the face-off after that goal. No goalie behind them. They were all out trying to win this one, trying to send this one to overtime, and it just didn't happen. And it was a shame for Bailey Birkin that he did not get the shutout, but you look at his numbers, 43 of 44. I mean, it's not like Peoria was not trying to score goals that night. 44 shots on net compared to the 30 that Levine faced. So it's like I said, it's not that they weren't trying, but the goaltending was solid. Bailey Birkin, well deserved being the co-player of the week with Gillespie. And the champs started the season 0-2. They are at the bottom of the standings right now. So I guess it's probably time that everybody just gives up, would fire the coach, fire Trudell, get rid of all the players, trade them all, bring in new people. It's doom and gloom. The season's over, right? No, none of you are that dumb. I'm the only one that dumb. But yeah, I don't think I'm supposed to say dumb. I think that's one of those words that you're not supposed to say anymore. I don't know. I'm just rambling now. You see it? Just a rambling man. But so that's it. That's it for the weekend. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. See, fire me. Let's talk about today's game, Evansville and Vermilion County. Very good game. I was at work today. I shouldn't have been watching the game, but I did. And my bosses don't even know I do this podcast, so they're probably not going to hear this, but I watched the entire game. So if you do hear it, and next week I come on, and I will probably have to tell my listeners that I was fired from my job for watching hockey. But anyways, it was a good game. Very hard-fought game between both teams. It was a low-scoring game. There was no goals scored in the first period. None whatsoever. Zip, zilt, nada. And I didn't think they were going to score any in the second period either. But all of a sudden, later on in the second period, Vermilion County gets a goal. They get that go-ahead goal. I'm sitting there thinking, okay, Vermilion County, I see you. You might end up winning this game. And I don't say that as a disrespectful thing. But after a rough weekend just a couple days ago, now you're jumping right into a game here. I don't know. I mean, they're professionals. They should shake it off. They did. I mean, they played a great game. But anyways, I was impressed. I was impressed with what I seen, especially after seeing how well Evansville played in the previous weekend against Knoxville. And so that's how I kind of gauge these two teams when they're facing each other is who they played and how they played the weekend before, or the weekend before. And then Ferraro ends up scoring a goal late in the second period. I mean, we're talking 17 seconds left to go. Ferraro gets one on the power play, and all of a sudden we're back tied up at 1 goal instead of 0. Third period comes around. Nobody wanted to score any goals. Not for a lack of trying, because Evansville tried. They tried really hard. 20 shots. Outshot the Bobcats 20-8. The Bobcats had the better second period. They outshot them 13-9. And it was just, I don't know if these teams maybe their legs are a little tired because they did just play a couple days ago, but I don't know. It was a different kind of game than what we had seen the weekend before. Ended up going into overtime. And It didn't take too terribly long. The 3-on-3 overtimes are, I almost want to say they're boring to watch, but it's exciting to see these guys do a bunch of stuff on open ice. But it's still kind of boring because Evansville came in and then they circled back and never really broke into the offensive zone. And then they did it again and then they went back. And then they came in and they took their shot. You know, all that setup. One shot, Vermilion County gets their chance, and they go the other way. Vermilion County never got a shot off. Evansville gets it back. Ferraro goes down, and hook, line, and sinker, goal. That's not a good one. That's not going to stick. Hook, line, and sinker? No, that was dumb. There we go with that word I don't think I'm supposed to use again. Anyways, when it was all said and done, Mike Ferraro, who scored the other goal of the night, scores the game winner in overtime, and Evansville is victorious. The Bobcats are still winless, but they are not pointless because you do collect 1 point in the standings. So their season's already off to a better start than last year. How about that? Evansville season's off to a good start. Remember last year they had a really good start too, but it's really tough to say their season's off to a good start after one weekend. Maybe I should wait to say that until, I don't know, let's give them 2 weekends, 3 weekends. How many? You tell me, leave me a comment. Leave me a comment somewhere or yell at me on social media where you see this posted. Tell me, when can I officially say that their season's off to a good start? I'm going to say 3 weeks, but you're going to hear me next week after week 2 say that teams are off to a good season because I'm a hypocrite. That's what I'm good at. You got to stick with what you're good at, right? But yeah, after the opening weekend, there was only 3 teams that did not lose. That was Quad City, Huntsville, and Birmingham. One of those teams will lose this weekend, I promise you, because Huntsville and Birmingham face each other. Which team it's going to be, I don't know, but that's going to be Friday night in Huntsville. The Havoc finally get to go home, give those fans the home opener, and I know they're pumped. They're ready. And then the next night, Birmingham will finally get to go home too, and they're going to play Knoxville. Before I leave you, let's kind of take a look at next week's games. What do we got? We got Macon and Roanoke, and they're playing a 2-game series. We got Fayetteville and Knoxville in Knoxville, and then Knoxville, of course, like I said, travels to the Pelham Civic Center to take on the Bulls. I already mentioned Huntsville, Birmingham, Quad City, Vermilion County at the David S. Palmer Arena. Evansville's got Peoria, so those 4 teams that we just mentioned, they're going to see a lot of each other this year. If you want to know just how much, go check out the season previews that we all just put out at Field Pass Hockey. Go read them. Every team's got a season preview. These guys are playing each other a bunch, and it's an unofficial North Division. I think I coined it that last year, but if I didn't, I'm coining it that this year, and I'm sure everybody else already beat me to it, but who cares? I'm the one with the microphone. All right, so as I said, Roanoke's playing Macon, Quad City, Vermilion County all weekend, Evansville, Peoria all weekend, and then Evansville and Quad City are playing one on the 30th. That's a Sunday game at 2:10. So that'll be one that nobody will have any excuse because there's nothing going on Sundays of any importance, right? Nobody's an NFL fan. At least I'm not right now because I'm a Packers fan. I know, hey, you're from Colorado. How can you be a Packers fan? You should be a Broncos fan. Well, even that, being a Broncos fan, they suck this year too. So hockey's what I'm watching. That's all I'm watching. Anyways, that's it. I really feel like I'm wasting everybody's time at this point. So let's do this. Let's sign off. Thanks for listening. Make sure that you download the app. Make sure that you like and subscribe to our Facebook page. Make sure you leave me some comments. Tell me whatever. I don't care. Put whatever you want in the comment section. I want to hear from you. Tell me, who do you want to hear next week? What do you want to hear next week? Tell me you want me fired and you want somebody else to come on here. I don't care. I've already told you a million times that you guys need to sign a petition and get me fired after this week 1 episode of the regular season. But you think, what is it? I'm episode 37 now? You think I'd be doing better. Anyways, leave me a comment. That's the point. Tell me to shut up and stop rambling all the time. That works as well too. But that's it. So I'm going to leave you guys. That's it. Goodbye. Until next time.
You've been listening to the Inside the SPHL podcast. Got a topic you'd like discussed? Follow James on Twitter at FPH Bulls. For the latest news on the SPHL and the rest of minor league hockey, download the Field Pass Hockey app, now available in the Apple and Android app stores.